Hello and welcome once again to Better Than Before Live Online. This is Dave Edelstein speaking to you live on Facebook, talking to you about all things to do with communicating, relating, and the mindfulness that can make it better. I've been talking about something that hi Megan. I've been talking about something I don't ordinarily delve into. I'm not a financial counselor. I'm not a money expert. But I know that money is an explosive issue in many relationships. It can be extremely stressful, it can be a relationship destroyer. And so I decided a few days back to dive in a little bit to how to talk about money, how to think about money in a way that serves your relationship and not the other way around. So yesterday, I talked a bit about how important it is to have a shared vision if you're going to be able to talk about money. If you and your significant other are on the same page about where the two of you are trying to go in life together and building your relationship and your connection and coming together, then the whole money thing is going to be easier, and I use that word cautiously. It's going to be a little easier because at least you're both trying to go in the same direction. You may feel that there's a more efficient or a less efficient, a more effective or less effective way to get to your goal, and this could provoke discussion, disagreement, argument, so on and so forth. But you can take a step back and say, calm down. We're trying to get to the same place. We're trying to both go to the same place. We're partners and teammates in our effort to go to the same place. And you can do that if you've already established your shared relationship vision. This is very, very important. So, assuming that vision is shared, assuming that you are on the same page vision-wise, then there is the question of how you will get there or how you will pay for what you need to pay for to get there. Some shared visions are low cost. Your shared vision could be a best things in life are free type vision, where the most important thing is to spend the maximum amount of time together doing small around your residence things that you like to do, making art, writing poetry, making music together. And this can be very low cost. You don't have to budget very much if this is your thinking. Your thinking could be very noble and more costly. You could be trying to improve your community. You could be trying to improve the world. You might have a big vision that requires real money behind it. And then you will have to seriously think about what's coming in, what's going out, and whether what is going out is going where you want it to go. And this is really where the budgeting process kicks in. The budgeting process really is about making choices, money choices, financial choices that support your vision. If it is your goal, for example, to live in a home of your own, then you will have to think about how you're going to put together the money to, say, get yourself out of the apartment that you live in and purchase a home of your own. You will have to do the research to find out about mortgages and taking a loan and gathering the money and where, how you will put that money together. There's always two choices. You can raise the amount coming in, or you can reduce the amount going out. That's about it. It's not complicated. But sometimes the amount going out means different things to each person in the partnership. Let's assume that each person is making a valid effort to contribute to the relationship. That work at home counts equally with work outside the home in terms of income, and that whatever is coming in is the amount coming in. Again, you can look for ways to bring more in, but you'll always have to consider the amount of time that you will have to dedicate to bringing more in, and whether that's really what you want to do. Money-time balance. So let's assume you know what's coming in and you're trying to achieve a goal that's going to require real money. Well, then you do have to think about what's going out. If everything that is going out is a survival expense, then your situation will not change unless you do change what's coming in. If the amount that is coming in is really only sufficient to feed you, keep a roof over your head, keep the lights on, and that kind of essential thing, with little left over even for emergencies, then yes, you're in a situation where you really do have to think about giving more of your time to achieving more income. Let's look at a slightly different situation. You have a little bit more coming in, there's some breathing room, but the things that money is going out for don't contribute to your shared vision. This is something you have to take seriously. If money is going out for small drip, drip, drip kind of luxuries, buying lunch every day instead of making your lunch, little expenses that could be avoided, maybe you want to think about not letting that money out now, but trying to accumulate to achieve a goal. Make that goal more of a priority in your potential expenses, which means making saving something of a priority in your potential expenses. And don't think of it as saving or denying yourself small luxuries. Think of it as achieving your goal. We want to buy a house. We're putting money away to achieve that goal. It's not a question of self-denial, but rather putting a long-term goal on a par with short-term desires. It's how you see it. It's what that goal is worth to you. Maybe you work along, you have this goal of buying a house, and you decide, hey, that's not really a goal. There are things that I want to enjoy every day that mean more to me than becoming a homeowner. It's possible. I was a homeowner. I didn't find it exciting. I was a homeowner for about 8-9 years. I sold out, haven't missed it. Yes, my financial situation now might be better if I had held on, but I don't regret selling out. It was my decision at the time, and for a variety of reasons, it was the right one. With any budget examination, with any money examination, remember that you and your partner are on the same side because you have a shared vision. You may find out that something that you see as a luxury expense, or as an expense that could be cut back, really matters to your partner. You may have to yield. Instead of saying that looks like a luxury to me, or that looks like an unnecessary expense to me, ask your partner what that outflow of money, what that expense means to them. Is it important? Why is it important? It's a good opportunity to learn more about your partner and what they value, what they're willing to put money into, what makes them feel good about their lives and the way that they're living it. The budgeting process is not about how little money you can spend. It's about knowing where the money is going and understanding why it's going there and whether that really meets your goals, your shared vision, which is why yesterday I told you it was so important to get on that same page about a shared vision. You may find that the shared vision has to be adjusted or postponed based on the relationship between what's coming in and what's going out. A good way to look at what's coming in and going out is just for 1 month to save receipts. Don't try to change anything before you know what's going on. Look at all the bills that you have to pay. Look at where all the money is going. Add it all up. Categorize it. And see what you are doing before you try to change anything. Don't just assume that we're spending too much money on X, Y, or Z. That may not be the problem. It may seem like the problem, but you won't know until you really look at where the money has gone. So that's the way to do it. Get a receipt for everything you spend money on, put it in an envelope, and at the end of the month, categorize those receipts, figure out what you're spending on, and look at that first. It's real evidence. It's better if you do this for a few months, or even, sample a couple of different months during the year. I remember that a big expense for me when I lived in New York was heating oil during the winter. During the summer, I didn't have that expense. If I had only sampled receipts from the summer, I would have missed it. I probably wouldn't have forgotten about it entirely, but it might not have crossed my radar in the same way. You may have different seasonal expenses that you need to sample over time. Don't rush this process. Don't try to rush this process. It'll only make you unhappy. Gather your information, look at it calmly, remember that you're in this together, and build your budget little by little. Build your budget based on the evidence as you accumulate it. Build it in a series of adjustments. Maybe we'll talk a little bit more about this tomorrow. Go into certain different kinds of expenses tomorrow, and I'll see you then. Thanks so much, all of you, for tuning in. Kat, Jack, Lance, Eileen, thanks so much for coming in. Claire, and I'll see you tomorrow around this time. Bye now.